Well, I need to try and find the right way to describe how I'm feeling right now because I'm not surprised at the end result based on what I saw from halftime onwards. But at the same time, I am incredibly disappointed about things that I thought had gone away from this football club today came back. And that is the attitude of the players in response to a situation not going the way that they expected and how they then respond to the things going against them. So that is my biggest gripe today, and that is the overall attitude of the players to a negative situation. And we'll get to that because I have to start with my first disappointment, which is that I'm disappointed we weren't leading the game at half time. Because I thought we were the better team in the first half. I genuinely believe that. And some people argue it was a 50-50 or whatever. But I said when I did my prediction for this game that going into it, I expected Liverpool to start the far stronger. Over the course of the last few weeks, Liverpool have started strongly. Manchester United have started poorly. So my expectation was that we'd be 1 or 2-0 down in those first 20 minutes. But given the way that we have played recently, we would come back into the game and then go from there to have a good performance. Now, we weathered the Liverpool storm relatively well. Liverpool didn't have a single shot on target in that dominant period of the first 20 minutes of the game. So we weathered that pretty well, and then we started making our first bunch of mistakes. But it wasn't like defensive or midfield. Our mistakes were we didn't take our chances. Now, Bruno's header at the back post, that was a difficult chance. Rashford's was the big one. 25, 26 minutes into the game, a phenomenal ball from Luke Shaw. Rashford, all he has to do is bring it down and put it in the back of the net, or just have a little bit more firepower behind his initial effort, and we go 1-0 up, and plan executed perfectly. But we missed that chance, and then more half chances kept coming. The amount of times Anthony got the ball out wide, and instead of just putting the ball in, he just did a little skill and then sort of half-heartedly put it in, or he tried to play on the outside of his left foot. We had so many 3v3 situations where a better final ball would have seen us a few goals up at half-time, and we were wasteful in those opportunities. But we were, in my opinion, still the better team at that point in time. And what happened is that against the run of play, it was Liverpool that scored right before half-time. And it is an absolute calamity of errors. There are so many mistakes in this goal. Firstly, Anthony is not tracking Andy Robertson. Something that was a common theme throughout the entire game, and he will be my first point of call for the attitude of players in this game. Anthony lets Robertson go, so Alisson has an easy ball out to Robertson. Now Dallow's left with a situation where he either has to go to Robertson or stay with Gakpo. He then makes his mistake, which is to go to Robertson. He's overcommitted, he's left a load of space in behind, but then he's not fully committed to Robertson. He's gone out to him, but he's let Robertson have space. And Robertson holds the ball for a good, I'd say 5 to 10 seconds before making the pass to Cody Gakpo. A brilliant pass, by the way, from Andy Robertson. But Dallow allows him the space to do this. And that's Dallow's second mistake. Fred then obviously has to be pulled out of position. He then gives too much room, leaves too much of a space in behind. Phenomenal ball from Robertson. Fred's out of position. He's overcommitted. Then Varane overcommits. Goes too tight to Gakpo. Allows him to jink inside onto his favoured right foot. And then the final mistake comes from Martinez, who overcommits himself, trying to get into a position to block the shot. He overshoots the far post, gets in front of De Gea, and it's a phenomenal finish from Cody Gakpo. A great goal. I'm not going to take anything away from it. It's a great goal from Liverpool all round. Good pass from Alisson, great play from Robertson, good skill and finish from Gakpo, and De Gea had no chance because he was blindsided and it was on his left-hand side. He was never going to save it anyway. But what that did is it killed our momentum. We were the better team before that goal went in, and my thought was, going in at half-time, off the back of that, like Ten Hag's done over the last few weeks, he brings them in at half-time and goes, right, this has happened, but we've been the better team. Now, we need to change a couple of things. Weghorst isn't doing much. Rashford should probably be back on the left-hand side. We'll put Garnacho on. We'll change it up a little bit. And we'll just make sure we have a little bit more effort going into the second half. And I have to say, I was very, very concerned when there were no changes at half-time. Over the last few games, whether we've been winning, drawing or losing, there's always been some sort of change at half-time. Be it a personnel change or a formation, tactical change. Nothing changed. The moment the second half kicked off, it was still Rashford up front, Bruno on the left, Weghorst in the middle, Anthony on the right. So I was concerned because of that. But that was not the reason we then conceded the second goal. Now, I don't know how far back they will show it in the highlights, but Luke Shaw picks the ball up about 30 to 40 seconds before Manchester United give the ball away. And he has a simple ball down the line to Bruno Fernandes. And I mean a simple ball down the line to Bruno Fernandes. Elliott's covering a pass to Casemiro in the middle. Casemiro is pointing down the line to Bruno Fernandes. And Shaw, for whatever reason, turns round and passes the ball inside to Martinez. That is the reason Liverpool scored their second goal. Because 30 seconds later, after being put under loads of pressure, the pass is going in and out from Martinez, Varane, De Gea and Shaw. Eventually, Shaw gives the ball away. 40 seconds after he could have easily played the ball down the line to Bruno Fernandes, Shaw gives it away in a dangerous area. Ball bobbles around. Cross comes shot. Comes off Nunez. Comes off Dalot. It's in the back of the net and it's 2-0. At this point, I'm still thinking, well, it's not the end of the world. It's a poor mistake that we've made defensively. But it's 2-0. We expected Liverpool to come out strong at the start of the second half. And we're still in the game. We've come back from situations like this season already. Just keep calm. Move on. I expect us to be 2-0 down and potentially come back anyway. But then we make the absolute worst mistake of the lot, which is we panic. We've gone 2-0 down. Whatever was said at half-time is now completely irrelevant. And the players have gone rogue. They overcommit. They pile everyone forward, which just plays perfectly into Liverpool's hands. Salah gets down the right-hand side. Phenomenal ball into Gakpo. Brilliant finish, although quite right De Gea's gone like this. I don't really know. His arms aren't out. One of his legs is tucked in and he leans his head back. I probably could have dinked that over De Gea. Whether or not I'd have got it in the corner of the net's another matter, but I'd have probably got it over De Gea. And it's 3-0. And then the heads go. And they fully go. And this is what I'm most disappointed about. Because from that point on, everything that we saw through all of last season and what we saw at Brentford earlier on in this season came back. And that is that when this Manchester United team, even under Erik ten Hag it seems, because some of his players were doing it as well. Martinez was culpable, Casemiro was culpable, and Anthony especially was culpable for this. They just stopped running. There's just no excuse for that. The amount of times Andy Robertson ran down the left-hand side and Anthony just went, whatever. That is unforgivable. And I don't know if Ten Hag left those players out on the pitch, like, the likes of Anthony, Bruno, whoever, Shaw, Dalot, the ones that just weren't running. I don't know if he left them on just to prove a point to them. I don't know. Whether or not he just took our best players off to protect them for the Real Betis game, that's probably more likely, but that's harsh. That's harsh on the rest of those players because there were players with their heads down in that game and we took off all of our big influencers. And from that point on, it was obvious Liverpool were going to get more, and the fact that it was 7 is just how many it was. But the attitude of those players from that point on is absolutely unforgivable. And I'm sure they're going to get it in the ears from Ten Hag tomorrow. And whatever punishment he has planned for them is thoroughly deserved. Because that's then what happened. We get a corner. We play it short for the umpteenth time. Don't know why. We have tall players. We never put the ball in the box once from corners. Liverpool play this stupid zonal defending that we do as well, and that's a whole story for another day, but why we think it's a good idea to have Shaw and Martinez marking Van Dijk and Konate, I do not know. But Liverpool do that as well. They had Trent marking Weghorst, but we never put the ball in the box, so why, I don't know. Anyway, play the corner short. gets headed away, because of course it does, and it falls at the feet of Anthony. 3-0 down, Anthony decides, I know, time to pull out some Brazilian magic, loses the ball, and instead of fighting back to get the ball, he throws his arms in the air and starts walking the opposite way to the way the ball's going. From that point on, obviously, it's a 4v3. I can't even remember who scored that one, but that was Salah's, I think. Was it Salah's? Oh, yeah, this was the goal where McTominay intercepts. He tracked back, I'll give him that. McTominay ran back on that goal. Came back, fired through, off him again. Salah shoots, goes in, just throws his weak foot at it, connects with it perfectly. It happens once in a blue moon. Everyone has a good weak foot shot every once in a while. Good finish, 4-0. And then again, just sat back. We don't care. It's 4-0. We can't get back into this game. We'll just stop running. We'll let you run around, do whatever you want. And that's the thing that hurts, is that, and I think Gary Neville mentioned it on commentary, even if it's not going your way, you're at Anfield. It's Manchester United, Liverpool. This is a game where you have to show your spirit, and even if it's not going your way, you grit your teeth and you just have to take it. But these Manchester United players, they just didn't have any interest in taking it. They were just happy to let Liverpool keep going. And the goals that went in from that point on are just an all-round embarrassment. The ball goes out wide to Jordan Henderson. Marcus Rashford just looks at him and goes, I suppose I might as well just troll over, try and get something on it. By which point Henderson's already put the ball into the box. Brilliant header from Darwin Núñez. Can't take anything away from that phenomenal header from Darwin Núñez. And it's in the back of the net. And it's 5. Sixth goal is just, well, it's just all-round chaos, isn't it? We still had time for De Gea to have his moment. The ball's bobbling around. All De Gea has to do is jump on it, put your head in where it hurts. All the things I always moan about De Gea with. But instead, he sticks his left leg out at it, by which point Shaw's come across in front of him to try and clear it. It comes off like 4 players, and then Salah just shoots and it's in the back of the net. And then, again, obviously one more for Firmino. And I'll pin this on De Gea as well, because once again, ball comes through. He's tried to close it down. Unlike with the Antonio one, this is the thing that baffles me the most. De Gea made himself big against Antonio in that chance against West Ham. But for whatever reason, against Gakpo and against Firmino, he's done a little mini sort of like whatever, and it's just gone through his legs, and it's 7, and it's game over at that point. So, I mean, literally game over. It was game over at 3, but literal game over at 7. And yeah, don't really know what else to say. We have until Thursday to get this sorted. I'm hoping it's just a one-off. We spoke about it going into the game that form does go out the window when you go into a Liverpool-Manchester United game. They are just one-off free hits for both teams. And look, we've lost this one 7-0, and there will be repercussions, I'm sure, for a lot of those players for the way that they treated that second half. But it's got to be sorted quickly, because Real Betis are no pushovers. They're a very, very good team. They have some very talented players. And if we go in with the mindset of this could all go wrong, it very well could go all wrong like it has today. So, big job for Ten Hag to do this week. I expect to see a lot of changes to the starting lineup next game. Dalot should not be playing, in my opinion. Anthony should not be playing. Rashford has to be back out on the left-hand side. What we do about the striker situation, I don't know, because Rashford didn't do a lot down the middle as well. He did all right in the first half. Like I said, he was causing Van Dijk all sorts of problems in behind. But second half, Rashford just wasn't in the game. Weghorst did nothing in the midfield area, so maybe we just put him back up front. Maybe we try Garnacho up front with Rashford out wide. Many things need to change ahead of the Real Betis game. But look, that all but ends our title hopes, which were slim at best. We spoke about it after the Newcastle game that you never know, get the win at Anfield, we might still be in a title race. But we're in a relatively good position to secure top 4. We just need to not let this result get to the players. And it has got to them on the pitch today. Whether or not it gets to them long term, we'll find out on Thursday against Betis. Then we're at home to Southampton in the league. And, well, if we can't beat Southampton at home in the league off the back of this performance, even off the back of this performance, should I say, then worrying times may be on the horizon once again. But let me know your thoughts. As always, feel free to rip into me, as I'm sure some of you will in the comments. But thank you very much for watching, as always. And yeah, I'll see you very soon.